Welcome inside the Generations Physical Therapy Studio. It's in my house now, Brian.
I know, that
This is the first time you're on the show. Well, the podcast.
Yeah.
And we're not in actually Generations, but we still have the studio, so we kept the naming right. So
shout out to Generations.
Yeah. But it's good to have you back. Another episode of Biscuits, Brews, and Ball with Brian England and myself, Jack Withrow, as you can see on your screen. If you're watching this and not listening, you can see our pretty faces. And we've got a third member today in the studio, Mr. Brian Sutphin, the man of Hurricane right now.
The champ.
The head coach of Hurricane Redskins baseball. Thanks for joining us, man. This is going to be fun.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
We've already been talking before the podcast has begun, so this is going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some shenanigans. Hopefully, hear some good stories. Like we were talking about before, we usually do a promo before we record an episode, and we got a lot of interaction on this promo with Brian Sutphin.
Yeah, both from Hurricane, St. Albans people, and of course South Charleston. So.
Oh yeah. A lot of interesting friends.
Oh, yeah. So it ought to be a good time. So we'll have fun with it. But, Brian, we'll just start off with you here. I mean, what an amazing season you guys just came off of. A great victory in that. I mean, that was a great game in that semifinal victory over Bridgeport. And then, of course, defeating George Washington for your third state title as a coach and the fourth in Hurricanes history.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a really good run. That particular group, we had 9 seniors, and the previous year in 21, we had won, I think 30 or 31 or 32 in a row, and we make the run and we get there, and that's really good Bridgeport team.
Yeah.
And we're up 3-1 with the bases loaded in the third. We have a chance to kind of, take control of the game, and we didn't, and they just outplayed us. And we just so going into this year, this particular group was kind of, all or nothing. Mm-hmm. And, anytime you get the opportunity to get to Power Park in the state tournament special, and I just knew with this group, if they didn't win it, they would have felt like failures, which would have been far from the truth, but that's where they were mentally, and it was nice to see them get what they truly wanted. So,
yeah, and like I said, that was a great game against Bridgeport. I think it went past midnight on Friday night, just past midnight, before you had a walk-off. It was a base hit, I believe.
Yes,
that won it, and your big guy Brogan.
Yeah,
scored from first base. Dude was out of breath, but that was well worth it though. So.
Yeah, he is, for a big guy, he can really run, and he's actually at Marshall now, football. And but yeah, coming around third, I wasn't going to step in his way, that's for sure.
Wave him around, yeah. But I thought it was interesting in the semifinal against Bridgeport. You started your son as a starting pitcher. This gets interesting. Haven't you guys, you've been coaching, you know how you deal with parents sometimes. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to start his son. Reese is going to be on the mound to start things. And, baseball, sometimes you're on, sometimes you're not. Sure. Even from Little League all the way up to the major leagues, the best of the best. They don't always have their good stuff on a certain day. So that's understandable. But you had to hook him.
Yep.
Quickly. And I'm thinking,
that's not fun.
I wonder if he's looking out the side of his peripheral vision, looking over at Mama.
Yeah. Well, you're not the first one that's ever asked me that question. But no, I know. Going into that game, Bridgeport, they had won 7 in a row.
Yeah.
Really good group, and Reese pitched the first game of the sectional and then the first game of the regional, and we felt like we had two guys on the back end who ended up, Gress and Rigney pitched phenomenal in that Bridgeport game, and we thought that gave us the best chance to win. Reese didn't have his best stuff, but he threw strikes. They just were swinging the bat, and it's a really good team, and I thought Gress was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then Rigney came in, and for those 2 innings, he won the game for us. It was great. So it was a total team effort, that's for sure.
What is that like, coaching your son? I know, as a coach, that would be a dream come true, in my opinion. So what is that? How's that dynamic?
I've got two sons. Reese is a junior; he'll be a senior next year, and then my youngest son is a sophomore; he'll be a junior next year. And with Reese, he just pitches, so I've always thought that it's coaching your son is kind of a double-edged sword. Anybody that I kind of looked up to or talked to about coaching and those types of things where their children were involved, it was kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time. But I was super proud of him. He's certainly handled that well, and his teammates. Reese works hard, so I think that they say, hey, he puts the work in, but certainly it is, definitely a different dynamic, that's for sure.
Yeah. So what's it like coaching baseball in Hurricane? Obviously, it's a town that has a lot of expectations, especially in baseball. You've been able to the longevity of your career, pretty much proves what you've been able to do. Pretty much proves what you are as a coach. So we don't have to debate that, but how do you manage those expectations and the talent and everything that you have to deal with as a high school coach? In any sport, but how do you manage coaching in that town and coaching baseball?
Well, I really believe that anytime you take a group of young people and they're passionate about whatever the sport may be, and in our case, our whole town is passionate about baseball. From the time, whether it's T-ball, coach pitch, little league, middle school, and it makes it more, certainly makes it more enjoyable. Sometimes maybe take it too far, where baseball is not going to be the defining, item in their life, but we all certainly. But look at all the rewards you get from that.
Right.
Whether it's from the community side and everybody's supportive. When we go up to Power Park,
it's amazing.
It is just
it's wild.
It is so much fun, and to watch that kind of support, it's hard for them not to have great memories. And when they come back and they're older, whether they live here or don't live here, when they come, they have good friendships and relationships, and that's what it's all about. So it's really been a blessing. I feel very fortunate. I remember when I got out of college coaching, was back in here. This is the one job I thought, well, if it comes open, I would be interested in that because of that. People, we're passionate about it, and that certainly makes it fun.
Right. We had a coaching clinic at West Virginia State. We'll talk about that later. But Brett Rector, he's the head coach at Salem University and Ravenswood guy, and he talked about creating an offensive identity. But one of the things he said was, first we will be champions, and then we will win championships. So talk about the process for you. You've obviously won 3 state championships, but that doesn't just happen. Even talent or no talent, there's a process to what you've done. And so talk about, being champions, not necessarily winning championships.
Yes. So I'm very fortunate to have the guys that I coach with have been with me the whole time. And they are phenomenal people. They're great baseball people, but they're just great people. And they would be the type of people you'd want your children to be around and be a part of every day and those type of things. And one thing that we've done is we honestly don't talk about winning a lot. Not actually winning the game.
Right.
More about improving. And it's okay to be wherever you are, but we're going to continue to make strides to wherever that may be. So, we've got a kind of a a 10 bullet points of what being a champion really is, and it's more about how to treat other people and, treat others the way you want to be treated. And, we talk to each other, not at each other, and those types of things that, sounds kind of cliche and all that, but I think that I know that at least for the last 5 or 6, 7, 8, 10 years that we've been doing it, we have seen the buy-in from the players, and that makes it that much more fun. I mean, and you talked about like winning 3 championships. We've lost 3 too, and going there, the one thing about a baseball game, you can't feel like that's going to define you as successful or not. I mean, there was a stretch there where, you feel like you're doing everything right, and and the kids are giving everything they can, and you feel like you're failing, and what am I doing wrong? And I think it's just being consistent and staying with the process, and letting the young people kind of blaze their own trail, because they want to be leaders. That's one thing that I think as a younger coach, I failed to realize. And I feel like I'm better at that now. And I'm sure 5 years from now I'll be like, that guy 5 years ago was an idiot.
So 3 state titles for you, starting back in 2014. Then you won one in 2018 over Wheeling Park. And then, of course, here in 2022 over George Washington. But like you said, 2017, 2019, and 2021, you were runners-up.
Sure.
You've got a program now. I'll just tell you that. You've got a baseball program that it seems like you've got it to where you're not rebuilding every year. You're just reloading. Do you feel that way?
We do. I mean, we feel like that where we've made a stride as a program is everybody is willing to continue to work, not just, am I going to be the starter? And for a younger person that may not be there yet, maybe they are.
You're talking about like as a role player.
As a freshman or a sophomore. To get to that point where you'd have that kind of what you would say a program, it's going to be very difficult for a younger person most of the time.
Which is a phenomenal buy-in that you've got there, because we are coaching in an area right now where a lot of people, a lot of kids, it's adult-driven, but they come in as freshmen and they expect to play.
Sure.
But you've created this buy-in of, hey, you need to work. You need to work. Not that you won't have a freshman that plays, but the fact that you've got that buy-in is
and I appreciate that. I really believe this, and I'm not saying it trying to be humble or anything like I said, my coaching staff is great, but it's really, like you mentioned, 14, 18, and 22. So it was 3 different groups. So when a lot of those guys come back, and then when they talk to the players, they remember what it was like when they were a freshman or a sophomore and they weren't getting to play, or they were on the JV, or they thought they should have been the starting center fielder and they weren't. And so they're having those conversations and at least being a part of that. Where I think that helps. I mean, and really, we're old men now, so the younger guys connect with each other in a better way, especially, alumni type thing where, and that's really what it's all about. We'll play a playoff game and there'll be 15, 20 ex-players, and it's just, it really is something special.
Talk about, the success that you've had since you've been there. 2009 is when you got to Hurricane. Talk about some of the talent that you have had, and we've known it. Not just baseball players, but you've had multiple sport talent come through that program. Talk about some of those guys that in the past that have built this program that you're talking about.
Before I came to Hurricane, before our coaching staff, the guys, they had a bunch of Division I players and play professional baseball. Alex Wilson obviously made to the major leagues and did Daniel Cart and all these great stories, and Billy Biggs and Mark Atkins and all that. So when I came in, that would have been the fall of 2008, the spring of 2009, that was, we had a talented group. And, you know, some of those guys like Tyler Payne's still playing. I mean, he's in AAA now. He was a sophomore then. He graduated in 2011. But there was a group of guys there that kind of started the BuyIn. You know, they loved baseball, were great teammates, were good, fun to be around, look forward to practicing, not just the games and all those types of things. So, but it really has been. I mean, we've had, I don't know. I mean, I wish I'd have brought, I think we've had 8 or 9 or 10 players drafted in the last 12 years, maybe something like that. I mean, there's some really been some really serious talent, not just for our area, or West Virginia, like Aaron Perry's now with, I mean, he has a legitimate shot to get to the major leagues. No question. I mean, last year he had the highest velocity average of any pitcher for the Red Sox, period. I mean, he was throwing balls 101. I mean,
he gets all that talent from his dad.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah.
And Dave will tell you.
Yeah, Dave.
I was thinking more from Julie.
Yeah.
It's probably truth right there, but yeah.
But Dave will tell you either way it was that.
We're going to have to clip this one out.
No. Well, yeah. There's no editing on this thing. I don't know how to edit anything. So, but yeah, the talent has been amazing coming through Hurricane baseball. Yeah. And you can look at Trey Dawson. He was a multi-sport athlete. JT Rogaszewski, those guys in that era right there. I mean, they were just some amazing athletes.
And just as good, like Trey. He just got married. I went to his wedding in May, and it was just,
Gosh, I feel old now. Trey Dawson.
That's right. But those guys were just as good people as they were players.
And good families.
And Trey will come back. He'll work with, he always went and talked to the little league teams, and that's really when you were talking about the buy-in or the community awareness, all that type of thing. It's because of guys like Trey, I mean, and their family, and hey, what can you do to give back? And, Deering a couple years ago had such a good basketball career and baseball. And, that's what they do. They just kind of come back and the kids look up to them. And just like we would have at that age, there all of a sudden there's this phenomenal athlete, but then they're treating other people well, so, but yes, JT and Trey and Tape Rock and that group was something special,
Now you played baseball at D&E?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
did you graduate from D&E?
I did.
Okay.
So I played there. I graduated in 91 in high school.
St. Albans High School, Brian.
Correct.
That's right.
Yes.
Old Red Dragon here.
That's right.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, that's coming. And then so graduated from St. Albans in 91, and then I was at D&E from 92 to 95. I graduated in 95.
Okay.
So I was there 4 years, yes.
Did you ever think about playing after college?
No, they said you weren't good enough.
So right into coaching then?
Yes. So, okay. I knew in college. I mean, I knew.
You knew you were going to be
I knew in high school I wanted to coach.
Yeah.
I just wasn't very smart.
So coaching-wise, were you the head coach at Nitro for a time?
I was. So I was at Nitro in 90.
I've got 97 and 99.
Yes.
Try to do a little research.
So when I got out of college, I went and helped Cal, and I played for Lawrence Nesselrode at D&E the last 2 years, and he was phenomenal. Went and helped Cal Bailey out, and then knew, I was getting my master's at the time, and that was just going to be almost impossible to do the college thing while I was getting my master's. So I was at Nitro from 97 to 99. Yes.
And then you went to W as an assistant.
Yes.
In 2000.
Correct.
And
so
then
I was there fall of 99, spring of 2000.
Okay. And then you had to stop at Alderson Broaddus.
Yes.
As the head coach there.
Yes.
And that was from 2001 to 2003, I think.
That is correct.
And then from there,
you're good.
You went back to the high school level.
I did.
don't always see that.
You don't really see that, yeah. So
You know.
here's the deal there. So
Especially going to the Division I level and get a little taste of that.
yeah, and I was Lowman on the totem pole.
But still.
You know, I mean, now the job at Alderson Broaddus, I know I was the youngest Division II head coach in the region, but I was certainly maybe in the first, couple in the country. I was 26, 27 years old when I took that job.
Yeah.
So, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I love Philippi. People were great. Obviously met my wife, and we were ready to start a family, that type of thing. And, if we were going to live in West Virginia, their family lived here, my brother and my parents lived here. So we wanted to get back here. And I love the small college coaching situation, but, just like most college sports at that level, at that time, there wasn't a lot of support.
Right.
And so, it was neat. So I came back and my friend was, Rick was at St. Albans, so I helped him, and we, my wife, she was pregnant with, our first of two, and so we did that for 5 years, and it was great. I mean, some of my best friends, Jeremy Sutton was on that staff too, and those are guys I grew up with, and we had a great time, and those are great memories, and, the kids were really little, and, so did that from 2004. We went to the state tournament in 2004, first year, and then till 2008.
Got beat by probably Jefferson.
Actually, Ripley. Yeah, they were good. They had.
I thought everybody got beat by Jefferson. A lot of people did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did.
But so 2009 and currently here 13 years as the head coach at Hurricane. Time goes quickly.
What have you learned from year 1 at Hurricane to year 13?
That's a great question. I've learned that it's really about the people you surround yourself with. I'm just being brutally honest. The guys that I coach with are phenomenal.
Yeah.
So being around those guys and them wanting to be there, that's the job they want.
Yeah.
And so that's been just really a blessing,
Yeah.
And looking back, like I think when I was a younger coach, like Jack mentioned in 97, 98, 99, when I was over there, and actually Rick was my assistant there for a year, and Jeremy and those guys. And I think that as a younger coach, sometimes you want to make everybody happy, or you feel like, hey, I'm going to do everything to make sure, and it's really unrealistic.
Yeah.
All you can do is the best you can do.
Yep.
And ultimately, you're going to have to figure this out on your own.
Yeah. So you mentioned you had a little stint helping Rick Whitman. Obviously, St. Albans graduate 1991.
Yes.
91.
91.
And Rick graduated a year after you, right? So 92.
Yeah.
Same age though. So you guys have been friends,
Oh yeah.
your whole life,
Yeah.
and coached with each other, and for now a long stint, you've had quite a few battles. What's it like coaching against Rick,
It's been great.
St. Albans in your hometown, and how's that?
Oh, it's been great. They obviously, St. Albans is a great place to grow up. A lot of good people, great memories, and my brother and my parents still live there. And
Where'd you grow up in St. Albans? What part?
I grew up, a couple different places, but towards the Lakewood area.
River
I actually
Lake,
grew up
maybe?
Sun Valley.
Sun Valley.
Sun Valley was my parents still live beside Lakewood Pool, and my brother lives out in Everest Circle. So, but it was wonderful growing up there, and Rick, his dad was our, anytime we did Little League All Stars and all, his dad was around, and you always wanted him to, you felt like you arrived if Dick Whitman gave you any kind of compliment.
Right.
He was kind of the holy grail. That
Right.
was the.
I got a few questions for you
Yes, sir.
that were submitted to me
That sounded good.
from South Charleston guys. Of course, South Charleston and St. Albans. South Charleston used to whoop up on the Red Dragons all the time back in that day. Here's one.
Okay.
Okay.
Chris Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Which he grew up in
Millsy.
St. Albans, got wise, and then
Yeah.
graduated from South Charleston.
He was before the transfer portal.
Yeah. Chris Mills started it. Anyway, he says, ask him about his days playing status pro baseball in River Lake back from 86 to 88.
Yeah.
And how that affects his coaching now.
That's where we learned our chops. Yeah, that was so many good friends. We had such a great childhood. But yeah, we used to play this game,
He said it was a board game.
and it was all strategy. And it was for true baseball nerds, and we were that. And you had to pick whenever you were going to take a pitcher out, or hit and run, or bunt, or steal, or whatever you were going to do. And that's funny. He was.
I got another one from Brian Mallory.
Oh yeah.
Of course, Mallory played at South Charleston, went over to Kentucky, got hurt,
Yeah.
low rehab, and then went to Marshall. He said, ask him about the St. Albans American Legion days.
Yeah, so Brian came. We started an American Legion, and that actually would have been after my senior year, so that would have been the summer of '91. And they had we brought some other guys from around there. Bryan was phenomenal talent,
Yeah.
and so yeah, we had fun that summer. We went everywhere. We American Legion baseball is such a great thing. I wish in some ways that was still it was better community baseball. It was almost like an extension of high school.
Yeah.
And you still had the turnouts, and actually sometimes the attendance would be better because the weather was better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he also said, asking about his run to the state golf tournament in high school. Were you a golfer?
I was. I don't know what's happened now. I'm just getting old and terrible. My youngest son's a golfer, so he's beating me now, which is embarrassing. But yeah, Brian and I played in the regional, and I actually won the regional. Went to the state tournament as an individual, and Brian was. It was at what's now Little Creek, but it was Kanawha Country Club.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that would have been Brian's home course that you beat him on.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I can't tell. Well, I played more golf than Brian. I can't really, tell all Brian and I secrets. It'd make us both look bad.
I understand. And then this guy says, tell him his career batting average versus South Charleston was under 200.
I have no idea. That sounds like Jason Taylor.
Yeah.
But I can't. And then he had a brother, but I don't remember.
Jeremy? John?
Yeah, it started with a J. I can't remember. He wasn't as good as Jason.
No,
Jason
he
was an
didn't make an
actual
impact.
athlete, but this one, I don't even know if he played. He might have been like just
Crow
a
might have put him
manager.
in, gave him a jersey, probably the wrong collar.
Yeah.
And
The
maybe
SC the SC
put him in
was
some
yellow
JV
or
games.
something.
Yeah. He probably got to play against Dunbar and Catholic. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, we're kidding. Justin Taylor, big fan of the program for years.
Oh,
Of course, he lives down in
phenomenal.
Hurricane now.
Oh, yeah.
In a gated community. You can't get near him.
Yeah, he's special.
You got to order a pizza, then follow the pizza guy
Yeah.
into the gate. That's
and
how
his
you sneak in.
son was on the tennis
Yeah.
state championship.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
son's got all
Curry.
the athletic talent.
Oh, there's no question.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. Well, he takes it after Jason. It's not Justin.
Yeah, his uncle,
Probably.
yeah.
It's probably passed down.
Yeah. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back with more with head coach of Hurricane Baseball, Brian Sutphin, here on the Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast. Welcome back to the Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast. Jack Withrow alongside Brian England, and continuing with our guest, Hurricane head baseball coach Brian Sutphin. And Brian, we've talked about the past in your program and building it and where you're at and the many championships you have now. What do you see going forward in the future of Hurricane baseball? As far as your program, maybe facility wise, something maybe you've got your eyes on, something in the future.
Well, I mean, obviously, this particular group it's hard to, high school is just kind of taking it 1 year at a time. Sure, you have, some long-term goals, but this particular group is, a lot of our 2023 grads, that'll be seniors this year have had to bide their time. So really looking forward to giving them opportunity to kind of blaze their own trail.
Yeah.
And so, facility-wise, we've been
One of the better ones in the state.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's a lot of people that that don't even have a child involved in baseball. They just want to see the school grow, and we do have a great support. Our administration's great, our community's great, our mayor's super supportive, and it's been a lot of fun. Our small businesses just get killed with trying to give to everybody, and they can't do it, but they do a great job, doing whatever they can do. And
I've always said, if you come into this state and you don't know, which community, you're checking things out, you walk into the Hurricane facilities, especially the baseball, softball, football, facilities, and it's impressive. And then you go down the street and you see what Valley Park has now, and you see what City Park is, and
sure.
You see these indoor facilities, these turf facilities, and all the different things that you have, and it's pretty impressive. Obviously, one of the things we're trying to do with our Red and Black Athletic Club is to try to catch up with the times in St. Albans, on that front. So, which we'll talk about later, but it is very impressive what the city of Hurricane, the school itself, and everybody involved pulling together have done with the facilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that is appreciated from a coaching standpoint, being able to have that.
Yeah, well, it's well said. I mean, I know that I think everybody's sentiment is, if you're a young person and no matter what you're interested, it could be music, it could be, in our world, it's sports. What I would hate is for somebody to be a baseball person or in your sport, basketball or football or whatever you're doing, and you feel like, oh, I have to go somewhere else to be the best I can be. Mm-hmm. Then we've failed as adults. Mm-hmm. I mean, our job, I think, should be as adults in education and in facility improvement is that if that's their passion,
right,
they have the opportunity to improve it every day. And then, so in our state, we do battle weather, so you need indoor facilities, everything from weight rooms to, and we do have that in our community. If a kid wants to lift weights, he can find a place. If he wants to improve speed training, and that's a big thing with, our program. We've been very fortunate. Like Matt Downey's done a great job with our guys, speed training and learning how to properly train. And it does take a village, and we certainly are blessed with that.
Yeah, your facility, like I said, it was top notch here. You got the nice turf down there, brand new wall, outfield wall, looks great.
Yeah.
I like how they've went with that natural wood look. That's pretty neat.
It does. It kind of has the minor league feel.
Yeah.
Now we're trying to get it done right now. So, I mean, if we can do that, then I think we might be able to win a sectional if we could get
Well, the only thing next down there is some skyboxes around home plate area. So I assume that's going to be next.
Well, what we should have is, a Biscuits,
Brews.
You should always have
ball.
Biscuits at baseball games.
Yeah, and when somebody hits a home run, you throw out the Biscuits. And but skyboxes would be a nice touch.
Hey. That's what all the big programs are going to, bringing in that big cash.
NIL money. Yeah.
We'll try to stay away from that in high school.
I understand. Yeah,
it's probably coming, though.
Yeah.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably coming.
I wish I had a little NIL money back when I was in high school.
Yeah, it'd be
probably
nice.
Bowinkle's hot dogs or something.
Yeah.
Susie's?
Yeah, Susie's was around.
Yeah.
But,
You should
I
get
saw
NIL
who
money
was
from
the-
Susie's now
I should.
as much as you talk about.
yeah, I should.
Yeah,
I've been
no
laying off the
question.
biscuits though.
Susie's-
So
I remember I saw the first NIL deal I sent to my buddy. I just thought was funny. It was Bryce Ford Wheaton. He had the oh shoot. What's the wings and beer place in Morgantown?
Keglers,
Okay.
No.
Mario's.
Yes, Mario's Fishbowl. So Mario's Fishbowl has Bryce Ford Wheaton. Yeah,
Really?
oh yeah, yeah.
Why
So-
wouldn't you? I mean,
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So he gets unlimited, wings. What the how can you beat that? If you had a
College
Tudor's
kid.
Biscuit World
Yeah.
or Susie's,
yep.
Yeah.
Hey.
yours could be coffee. You could do
Yeah, you think,
Dunkin' Donuts.
or Cold River Coffee. is
Cold
probably the
River,
one I'll
Cold
go
River
to.
would,
Yeah.
would be number one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Give them a
obviously.
shout out.
But yeah, hey, I like the donuts at Dunkin' Donuts.
Jack's
But
on
yeah.
a diet.
yeah. Brandon Lowe and Ryan Pritt and I are in this weight loss challenge, and it's a 4-week challenge, and this is our last week. So
So if you win, what's the
it's,
winner?
cash. We all
Oh.
threw cash in. So
Can never go wrong with cash.
yeah, so I've been pushing here lately,
Attaboy.
but yeah, it kind of hurts. I ain't even sniffed a pizza in 4 weeks. So
I got
That's
Hudson's waiting on me.
incredible.
it's been tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Coach, I hate to keep you long. I know we've talked a lot of stuff here, a lot of baseball. Reminisced about back in the day when you got beat by South Charleston a lot. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Always enjoy talking to you and watching your program. And
Appreciate that.
congratulations on another victory for a state title, and good luck in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I miss old Brian England on the sidelines. We need to get him back into
Yeah.
coaching. He'll be.
I'd say it'll probably happen one day.
It should.
When the time is right.
He's got those kids coming up, so
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
you
That's
know how
what
that is.
I was wanting to know what it was like.
y'all. I don't know what kind of picture I painted. But,
Well, I miss it. I will say that.
oh yeah.
I miss it.
Well,
Uh,
it
It was
gets
the
in
right
your
decision,
blood.
though.
Yeah.
Oh,
for the time
absolutely.
being, for the time being. So
Well, you've got all this stuff going on, and
Yeah.
you're doing great things, but coaching is a lot of time with not a lot of money.
yeah,
It's not a good match. When,
Yeah, you got wives at home going, "What
Yeah,
are we
what are you
doing here?"
doing?
So,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
it does take a good wife, though. She's
Yep.
got to
It
be
does.
supportive.
yeah, my wife and
But
I
he had to
put
get
a lot-
one from South Charleston.
Yeah, I did have to go to the Black. Well, I knew Justin. No one was going to be interested in him.
Yeah.
I mean, why would I go anywhere else? There's one down there. It's probably
Before you go, though, I'll tell you one story about Missy and her family. They had the meanest little dog ever.
Snowball.
I don't know. I can't remember
Was
the
it
name
white?
of the thing. I thought it was black, but I can't.
Oh,
That's
maybe
been
not.
so long ago. But man, ask her about that little dog that hated me and I hated it.
Yeah,
So-
just
oh yeah, one of them little ones too.
yeah. Those are
Yeah.
the worst.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. We'll let you go. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Head
appreciate you.
coach Brian Sutphin, Hurricane High School. We'll be right back here on the Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast. Welcome back inside the Generations Physical Therapy Studio. Jack Withrow alongside Brian England here on the Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast. What a great one. Great one. Brian Sutphin.
I tell you what, he's a great guy.
He is.
Obviously, he's won a lot of baseball games, but I think being able to just sit and chat with him, man, all the experiences that he's had. Obviously, St. Albans native. It's just a great time. I mean, I had a good time sitting here
Yep.
talking to him.
Yeah, good guy, great coach, and finally get a little camera on me. But you've been a little bit busy here lately, haven't you?
Yeah, we've had a lot going on, man. We've between the business stuff and obviously this Red and Black Athletic Club getting off the ground. We had a shootout coaching clinic.
How'd that go?
Went great. I'd say this being the first year of it under this name, it was a success. We had 20 teams all over the state. really happy to have Fairmont Senior down. Coach Retton brought his team down. I got to know him. He was thrilled with everything and said they'll be back next year, hoping we can get some more northern teams down as well, looking to grow it. So, I just think overall it was a great experience. First of all, you got to give Nate Burton and West Virginia State, University a shout out. Again, we've talked about it multiple times. We've had Nate on the podcast, but they're about the community, and it shows. They walk it, not just talk it.
Yep.
And so great job by West Virginia State for hosting us. And we had a coaching clinic that coincided with the shootout, and six speakers, four college coaches between Brian Poor from West Virginia State, Brett Rector from Salem, Dwayne Osborne from UC, and Ryan Airwood from Rio Grande. Then we had two high school coaches, Alan Osborne and Jacob Gruss. Jacob is St. Albans native who coaches at Cave Spring in Roanoke, Virginia. And then Alan Osborne, obviously, the legendary coach here in West Virginia at Poca.
Yep.
So,
A lot of other stuff going on, too.
yeah, we
Got the Red and Black Athletic Club in full force.
Yeah.
You guys are doing some good stuff.
Yeah, we're trying to
Trying to keep up with Hurricane.
well, yeah, but if you look at it, the whole premise behind this and the people that we have involved, they come from different walks of life, different generations.
Yeah.
We got Alan McVeigh and Dickie Campbell, they've been there, done that. We've got, myself and Christian Watts and Christy Scott and Guy Turris, and, everybody's, does different things, has different careers. We're all living in St. Albans, and we all want to see St. Albans be the best it can be. And that's what it's all about. It's about nothing else. And obviously you look at other communities and you see, what the city of South Charleston has done with Little Creek. It's just phenomenal. What the city of Charleston just came out with, and turfing all those fields and doing all that in Charleston. And, obviously we've just talked about Hurricane, and so, we care about our community, and we just want to do what we can to make it good for the kids in our community, so something to be proud of. And there's been a lot of people over the years do that, so there's a lot of great people that have poured their lives into the St. Albans community, and it's not like we're replacing anybody. We're just carrying the torch on.
Yeah.
So.
I think St. Albans is doing a great job. Of course, the mayor down there and Scott James heading that up. These guys just had the Tour de Cole and the Yak Fest, which I think is one of the better events.
Yeah, it was great. 10 to 12,000 people on the street on Saturday. You were there. Every business benefits. People from all over the country come and participate in the Tour de Cole kayaking event and find their way. We had regional soccer events going on between President's Cup and the regionals, NCS, and we had multiple states represented on the street. We had Maryland and New Jersey and Pennsylvania that I can think of that just stumbled upon the festival and just had a great time. So, it's a really awesome place to be. And again, this club and the businesses that we run and everything, I'm just hoping we can play a small part and continuing to make it.
Of course, if you're listening and watching this, Bryan is one of the co-owners of not only the Tap, which is a great place to go, and the craft beer selection and the food is phenomenal.
From Bogey's Barbecue.
Yep. But they do own Crafts of the Cole ice cream, which I think is one of the better ice creams, if not the best, here in the Kanawha Valley. Give me the flavor of the summer.
Lemon cheesecake bar. We've just put it in both trailers. We've been selling it at the storefront in St. Albans, but man, lemon cheesecake bar. It's been a huge hit. It's a lemon-based ice cream, and it's got cheesecake bits and graham cracker crust bits in it. And Jack, I know you're on a diet, but when this competition's over,
Why have to give me some of that?
we have an ice cream.
You
trailer
had me a cheesecake.
We have an ice cream trailer 2 minutes from your house.
It's
Valley, so.
right down the road here in Tays Valley.
Yeah, so you check it out, but we're really, really pleased with the flavor. And
How many flavors do you guys carry?
well, in our storefront, we carry 30, and it rotates some. It's seasonal. Obviously, in the fall, we'll roll out with some fall type flavors, and then in the trailers, we because of storage limitations, we're down to like 14.
Yep.
Which is still it's a lot.
bit,
It's a lot of options, and West Virginia Pothole being our #1 seller, along with the lemon cheesecake bar this summer. You can get both of those in the trailers.
Now, do you guys label those the way you named them.
Yeah, we do. We name them what comes to mind at times, and then sometimes we don't. It just depends. But yeah, a lot of times with the creative ones, we've named them like West Virginia Pothole.
Yeah, so, I mean that's a unique ice cream that you've got. And like I said, it's really good.
Yeah,
I don't know how they make that ice cream.
Whatever they do it right.
Yeah, but
and the thing about ice cream is the higher the fat percentage in the ice cream, the better it tastes. Obviously, and there's a very high fat content in the ice cream, and that's why you have that taste that's just so good. And it's just we're very fortunate. The brand has been great, but the product is better. Yeah. Way better.
So 3 locations, Crafts of the Coal Ice Cream there in Tays Valley, and then one in South Charleston over by the Mound, and then, of course, the storefront on Old Main. Do they call it Old Main Street?
Old Main Plaza.
In St. Albans.
It was changed to that. At one point in time, they shut the street down. It was just a pedestrian walkway.
Yeah.
And it became Old Main Plaza, but now obviously the traffic and we have parking again and everything, which is a great thing for the city. So
anything else?
Nothing. What's going on with you? What are you into? I know you're in this competition with Ryan Pritt and Brandon Lowe.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. It was going well for me, but then I leveled off. But I understand that happens. But I didn't gain anything back, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
My clothes are starting to fit a little bit better. But we've been doing that. It's fun. We talk smack to each other every day in our text group. But they're doing a good job over on their podcast, Brandon Lowe's show, having some great stuff and content over there twice a week. Nothing else, man. I'm kidless.
Wow.
I got all these guys
empty nester
finally kicked out, and that's why we're here in the new studio.
Yeah,
in our house.
I know you guys that are watching it can see, but this studio is top notch, and it's in Jack Withrow's house. But this is what you get when you're an empty nester. And Mary Ann says yes, you can have one room.
Well, she gave me the upstairs, so well, at least this side of it.
Right.
But I'm equipped with my own bathroom and
it's amazing.
A little studio here, and it's
you're
really
living a dream.
out. Yeah, it's kind of like my man cave here.
Yeah.
If I can get some Hurricane baseball stuff, I think I'll be complete.
There you go.
But
and we got a few more weeks, and then you'll be kicking it into football gear. Obviously, you'll be
UC
at UC, and probably are you going to be doing anything outside of UC with the MEC or high school wise? Probably video production stuff.
Video production stuff. We're not. We haven't solidified everything yet where we're going to be, but. I'm sure when August comes around, things will start heating up.
Yep.
And
we'll be here before you know it.
Yep. We'll be back in the full swing of high school sports, college sports, NFL, things like that. So it'll be a lot of fun. But right now I'm just kind of taking it easy.
So, you deserve it.
I know. Walking every day and on this crazy diet. So, but I think that'll wrap it up. And again, we want to thank everybody for not only tuning in if you're watching on video-wise, but also you can listen to our podcast. You can go back and listen to all of them on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcast. For head coach Hurricane Baseball, Brian Sutphin, and Brian England, always my great guest here. Well, you're not a guest. I shouldn't call you a guest.
Co-host.
Yeah, co-host. I'm out of practice.
In your house, though.
Yeah, you're a guest in my house. I'm Jack Withrow. Thanks for listening in and watching. And this is another episode of Biscuits, Brews, and Ball.